U.S. Senator Max Baucus is set to be nominated by the White House as the next ambassador to China. Not widely known outside the U.S., Baucus hails from the U.S. state of Montana, an area known for agriculture, and is also at the heart of America's oil boom. He decided not to seek re-election next year after serving in the Senate for decades. Nathan King joins us now live from the White House with more. Nathan.
That's right, Elaine. Max who, one might ask, at least internationally. He's not as high profile as the current holder of the ambassadorship to China, also previous in the post. And at the age of 72, this is not the beginning of a career, but the end of a career posting if nominated. And he has some big shoes to fill.
If Max Baucus is confirmed as the next ambassador to China, he will follow Gary Locke, the first Chinese-American to hold the post, who became famous across China even before he started the job for his down-to-earth style. Locke, never far from controversy, was perhaps the most high-profile ambassador in the region until Caroline Kennedy was appointed U.S. ambassador to Japan in November.
Gary Locke has been an extraordinary ambassador to China and obviously has a personal history, that Max Baucus nor any other ambassador, can match.
Relatively unknown in China, Max Baucus has actually visited the country 7 times as a senator and once as a young man. He was part of negotiations to China's accession to the World Trade Organization and normalizing trade relations with the U.S. And as chair of the Finance Committee in the Senate, he's an expert on trade and taxation.
He understands global economics well. He understands how the U.S. economic situation, the U.S. debt situation, of great concern to China, how that fits into the broader equation. So he brings a skill set to Beijing that will be very relevant and very important to U.S.-China relations.
Baucus has also been in the U.S. Senate for 35 years, much of that time alongside now U.S. Vice President Joe Biden and the now U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry. There is plenty of talk here in Washington, however, that Baucus's appointment might have to do with more domestic politics and the balance of power in the U.S. Senate. Barack Obama's appointment of John Huntsman to the post in 2009 was also considered political. He was a potential rival for the presidency. Chinese authorities say whoever is chosen, the two countries have a strong policy platform to pursue.
Both sides are working together to build a new pattern of relationship between the two powers. We hope no matter who becomes the next U.S. ambassador to China, that person will make active efforts to promote communication, mutual trust, and cooperation between the two countries.
It may be Baucus's personal qualities that get him the nomination. Described by colleagues as soft-spoken, low-key, and a bridge builder, he may be seen as a lower-profile ambassador, but an effective negotiator who has the ear of the Obama administration.
And what's interesting is Baucus, if confirmed, won't be the first senator from Montana to actually get a top diplomatic post in Asia. His political mentor, Mike Mansfield, left the Senate to become ambassador to Japan between 1977 and 1988. Another little fact we may not know about the soon-to-be, it looks like, ambassador to China from the U.S. is that he's a bit of a health nut and has run a lot of marathons. Those skills might come in handy when it comes to negotiations, Elaine.
Well, Nathan, do we know how the choice of Baucus came about?
Well, remember, Gary Locke's resignations came as a bit of a surprise, so they had to scramble. And it seems to everyone I've been talking to here in Washington that Joe Biden, vice president, played a big role in selecting whoever it is. And Baucus and Biden have a long history of working together in the Senate over several decades. And also, Biden, remember, has just come back from a trip to Asia, which included a marathon 5-hour meeting with Xi Jinping. We wonder whether the name came up in those meetings.
And Nathan, you said it correctly. I mean, relatively unknown outside the U.S., but what does this appointment, if confirmed, say about the U.S. relationship with China?
Business. I think business and trade. Remember, there are many structural reforms going on in China after the third plenum. There has been a tremendous interest of the United States firms for altering the trade balance between the two countries. This is where Baucus's skills can be used. Also, Baucus's staffers that have left jobs at the Senate have gone on to be some of the biggest lobbyists for American companies here in Washington as well. So, many ambassadors push trade of their host countries, and I think Baucus really will be a good advocate for American business, but also will be a keen negotiator. And I think those personal skills as well, soft-spoken, bridge building, the long game, is something that might be appreciated in Beijing after several controversial nominations as well.
All right, CCTV's Nathan King live from the White House. Thanks for that.